There is a reason why most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they're incapable. It's not because they lack opportunities. It's because they're afraid of being alone. You see, from the moment we're born, we're taught that being surrounded by people means we're safe. That as long as we fit in, as long as we move with the crowd, we'll be accepted, protected, and secure. But here's the harsh truth. The crowd is a cage. It keeps you comfortable, predictable, and dependent. It keeps you in the same routines, following the same paths as everyone else, never questioning, never challenging, never growing. Think about it. Who are the people who change the world? Who are the ones who rise above, break boundaries, and do the impossible? It's not the ones who blend in. It's the ones who dare to stand alone. The ones who walk away from the crowd and embrace their own path, no matter how uncomfortable it feels at first. Standing alone is not weakness, it's power. When you stand alone, you think for yourself. You make decisions based on what is right for you, not what others expect of you. You see the world differently. And most importantly, you become someone who can't be controlled. Because a person who is comfortable being alone is a person who is truly free. But most people don't want that. Most people would rather trade their freedom for acceptance. They would rather follow the group than risk standing apart. And that's why they never grow. That's why they never reach the next level. Ask yourself this right now. Are you afraid of standing alone? Be honest. Do you rely on the opinions of others? Do you hesitate to make decisions unless someone else approves them? Do you feel uncomfortable when you're not surrounded by people, not constantly checking for reassurance? If you answered yes to any of those, then you've been conditioned to fear the very thing that could make you unstoppable. And that's exactly why you feel stuck. But here's the good news. That fear is a lie. And once you break free from it, you'll unlock a version of yourself that is stronger, sharper, and more powerful than you ever imagined. Because the rarest, strongest, and most successful people in the world all have one thing in common. At some point, they stood alone. They walked away from the approval of others. They chose to trust themselves when no one else did. They didn't need permission to be great, and neither do you. Right now, you have a choice. You can stay where you are, trapped in the safety of the crowd, waiting for someone to validate you, waiting for someone to tell you what to do, or you can step out. You can choose to be different. You can choose to break away from the noise, from the expectations, from the fear. You can choose to stand on your own 2 feet and start building your own life on your own terms. Most won't make that choice. Most will stay exactly where they are because it's easier, because it feels safer, because they're afraid of what happens when they step out alone. But you're not most people. You didn't come this far just to blend in. You didn't come this far just to follow. You came to lead. You came to rise. You came to stand. And the first step to real power is learning how to stand alone. Most people don't realize how much they depend on the crowd until they step away from it. They convince themselves that they think independently, that they make their own choices. But if you take a closer look, you'll see the truth. You'll see how often they wait for approval before making a move. How often they hesitate to take action unless someone else reassures them it's the right thing to do. The crowd is comfortable. It makes you feel safe. It tells you that as long as you do what everyone else does, you'll be accepted. But what the crowd doesn't tell you is this. It will also keep you average. You can't have both. You can't have real success and the constant comfort of the crowd. Because success requires thinking differently, moving differently, being willing to stand apart, even when it feels uncomfortable. When you embrace solitude, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for validation. You stop allowing the opinions of others to dictate the course of your life. And in that space, something rare happens. You start listening to yourself. You start discovering what you truly want. You start seeing what's possible. You start breaking free. The question is, do you have the courage to step away? Because if you don't, you'll stay stuck. Stuck in the opinions of others. Stuck in their expectations. Stuck in the comfort that keeps you small. But if you do, if you have the courage to embrace solitude, even for a little while, that's where the real power begins. They told you that being alone is something to fear, that it means you're unloved, unwanted, unsuccessful. But let's be clear, that's a lie. The most powerful people in history, the ones who changed the game, who built empires, who became unstoppable forces, every single one of them spent time alone. Because solitude isn't emptiness. Solitude is where you find clarity. It's where you discover who you really are. It's where you sharpen your mind, strengthen your spirit, and build the kind of inner power that doesn't need outside validation. The world trains you to believe that if you're alone, you're failing, that if you don't have a constant stream of people around you, you're doing something wrong. But in reality, if you never learn how to be alone, you'll never learn how to be powerful. You'll always be waiting for approval, waiting for support, waiting for someone else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. And that's exactly why most people never make it, because they don't trust themselves enough to stand alone. But if you can break free from that conditioning, if you can stop fearing solitude and start using it, you'll unlock a level of strength that most people will never know. Because the second you stop needing the crowd, you become unstoppable. Most people dream of success. They picture the rewards, the lifestyle, the freedom, but they ignore the price. They want the results without the struggle, the strength without the pain, the growth without the discomfort. But here's the truth. If you're not comfortable being uncomfortable, you will never grow. Discomfort is not the enemy. Struggle is not a sign that something is wrong. It's the proof that you're on the right path. The people who win in life, the ones who reach levels others can't even imagine, aren't the ones who avoid hardship. They're the ones who lean into it. The ones who get up every morning ready to face whatever comes, no matter how hard, no matter how painful. Because they understand something most people don't. Growth only happens in the fire of discomfort. If you want to be stronger, you have to lift heavier weights. If you want to be wiser, you have to go through tough lessons. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to be willing to endure what others run from. The question is, are you willing to go through the fire, or are you still looking for the easy way out? Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they're unlucky. They fail because the moment life gets hard, they run. The second things get uncomfortable, they back down. They take the easy road. They tell themselves it's not worth it. They convince themselves that struggle is a sign they're not meant for success. But that's the biggest lie of all. Struggle is not a stop sign. Struggle is the entrance fee to everything worthwhile in life. Look around. How many people do you see avoiding discomfort? Staying in jobs they hate because starting something new is too risky, sticking to bad habits because fixing them would be too hard, settling for less because going for more would require too much effort. And where does that lead? Nowhere. Nothing worth having comes without struggle. But most people don't want to hear that. They want shortcuts. They want overnight results. They want success to be easy, and that's why they never get it. If you're afraid of discomfort, you're afraid of growth. And if you're afraid of growth, you'll stay exactly where you are, year after year, watching others pass you by. But the ones who embrace discomfort, the ones who step into the pain instead of running from it, those are the ones who win. Look at the greatest success stories in history, the ones who went from nothing to everything, the ones who built empires, changed the world, and defied the odds. They didn't get there because it was easy. They got there because they refused to quit when it got hard. They didn't complain about the struggle, they used it. Look at someone like Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first television job, told she wasn't fit for TV, humiliated, rejected. Most people would have quit. Most people would have believed the critics and settled for less. But not her. She kept going. She turned rejection into fuel. And now she's one of the most influential figures in history. Look at Elon Musk. Slept on a couch while building his companies, ran out of money, faced failure after failure, but he didn't stop. He didn't run. He faced the fire head on. And because of that, he built something the world had never seen before. Struggle isn't a roadblock, it's every time life challenges you, it's giving you a choice. Quit or get stronger. Most people quit, but the ones who don't, they are the ones who change everything. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches you, they stay with you forever. That workout that burns like hell, the pain fades, but the strength you gain, that stays. That business that almost broke you, the struggle ends. But the skills you built, the mindset you sharpened, that lasts forever. That rejection that stung, the disappointment passes. But the resilience you gain, that never leaves. Every time you endure discomfort, every time you push through pain, you are building something permanent. But most people never experience that because they quit before they get there. They run when it gets tough. They back down when it gets painful. And because of that, they never see what's on the other side. But you're different. Because you're going to push through. You're going to fight for what you want, no matter how hard it gets. You're going to use the fire, not run from it. And when others look back and wonder why they never made it, you'll be standing at the top. Because you did what they wouldn't. You embraced the struggle, and you built something that lasts. Most people live their lives in chains. Chains they put on themselves. They hesitate before making a decision, waiting to see what others will think. They hold back from chasing their dreams, afraid of judgment. They shrink themselves to fit in, to be liked, to be accepted. And in doing so, they give away their power. But the people who truly succeed, they don't ask for permission. They don't need approval. They trust themselves even when no one else does. If you need others to believe in you before you take action, you'll always be controlled. But if you learn to move without waiting for validation, you become unstoppable, because the only approval that matters is your own. The need for approval is one of the biggest reasons people never reach their potential. They spend their lives chasing praise, fearing rejection, and adjusting themselves to fit other people's expectations. But let me ask you, whose life are you living? If every decision you make is based on what others think, are you really in control? Or are you just following a script someone else wrote for you? The hard truth is, most people are stuck because they are prisoners of approval. And the worst part? They don't even realize it. But once you break free, that's when life truly begins. Imagine making decisions without hesitation. Imagine chasing your goals without caring who doubts you. Imagine living life on your own terms, without waiting for approval. That's what freedom looks like. And that's the freedom that comes from trusting yourself. Most people will never experience it. They will always be looking around, wondering if they're doing the right thing. But those who stop waiting, those who take action regardless of what others say, those are the ones who win. Some of the greatest decisions in history were made in silence. Not in boardrooms, not in meetings, not with 1,000 voices giving their opinions, but in solitude. In a moment of clarity, when one person made a decision without needing approval. Because the truth is, if you wait for the crowd to approve, you'll never move. But if you trust yourself, if you stop looking for permission, you'll make moves the world never saw coming. Time is your most valuable asset. But how many of you are wasting it right now? How many of you are letting hours slip through your fingers without even realizing it? You see, most people don't realize how much time they waste until it's too late. They scroll through social media for hours. They watch TV for endless hours that don't add any value to their lives. They get caught in conversations that lead nowhere. They delay, hesitate, and make excuses. And the worst part? They think they have all the time in the world. But guess what? You don't. High achievers, the ones who get ahead, the ones who build legacies, they see time differently. They don't waste it. They don't allow distractions to pull them away from their purpose. They understand that time, once gone, never comes back. So, the question is, how do you spend your time? Are you using every moment to build something meaningful, or are you allowing time to control you? Every time you hit snooze on your alarm, you're wasting time. Every time you scroll mindlessly through your phone, you're wasting time. Every time you engage in pointless chatter or procrastinate on your goals, you're wasting time. But here's the thing. Most people don't realize how much time they're wasting. They think it's just a few minutes. It won't hurt. But when you add up those minutes, those hours, those days, it becomes clear. Most people spend more time avoiding action than they do actually taking it. Look at successful people. They don't let distractions control them. They don't waste time in meaningless routines. They're focused. They wake up early, they prioritize, and they invest their time in what truly matters. And that's the difference. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they use their time. Are you using your time to build your dreams, or are you wasting it on distractions? Think about it. How much of your day is spent on things that won't bring you closer to your goals? The answer is urgent, because every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you said, once I have more time, or when the conditions are perfect? Guess what? They never are. Waiting for the perfect moment is just a form of procrastination. It's your mind tricking you into thinking that someday will be the right time. But here's the truth. There's no such thing as the perfect time. Take action now, even if you don't feel ready, even if the timing isn't perfect. Look at people who have changed the world. People like Steve Jobs. Did he wait for the perfect moment? No. He launched Apple when the technology wasn't ready for it, but he took action. And that action led to something bigger than anyone could have predicted. Success doesn't wait for the right moment. It creates the right moment through action. You have two choices, wait or act. But let me tell you this, waiting is the fastest way to guarantee you'll never get what. Think of your time like money. Every day you wake up, you have a certain amount of it to spend. And just like money, if you spend it without thinking, it's gone forever. But there's another way to use time. You can invest it. Investing your time means using it to build something valuable. It means putting time into things that will pay off, even if they don't pay off right away. It means making choices today that will lead to rewards tomorrow. The wealthy understand this concept. They know that the only way to get more time in the future is to invest it wisely today. They don't waste time on things that won't give them a return. They make choices that compound over time, creating a better future. Now, ask yourself, are you spending your time or are you investing it? Every hour you waste, you're spending it. Every hour you spend learning, creating, growing or building, you're investing it. And that investment, it will pay off. Fear controls more people than anything else. It dictates their decisions, holds them back and keeps them from reaching their full potential. Most people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of what others might think. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of making mistakes. And so they stay stuck. They avoid risks. They hold back their potential, all because they're paralyzed by fear. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't have to control you. In fact, the strongest people, the ones who break boundaries, achieve greatness and inspire others, they use fear to their advantage. They don't let it stop them. They use it to fuel them. You see, fear isn't the enemy. Fear is just a sign that you're about to do something important, something that could change everything. Fear is the fire that forges champions. Fear holds most people back because it convinces them that if they just avoid it, they'll be safe. But guess what? Safety is a lie. The more you avoid fear, the more it controls you. You'll never grow if you keep running away from the things that scare you. Look at the people who have achieved greatness. They didn't avoid fear. They confronted it. They stepped into it and kept going anyway. Fear is a signal to move forward. Every time you feel fear, you have a choice to let it control you or to use it as fuel. It's time to stop letting fear dictate your choices. You decide what fear means. Fear is real, it's natural, but it doesn't have to stop you. Take the example of Oprah Winfrey. She was told she wasn't good enough for TV, that she didn't have what it took, but she didn't let fear of rejection stop her. Instead, she used that fear to prove herself. She turned it into her fuel to work harder, push further, and eventually change the world. The strong don't run from fear, they run toward it. When you feel fear, don't shrink back, step forward. It's the key to everything. Fear doesn't control you when you choose to face it head on. Fear will never completely disappear, but that's okay. Fear isn't a sign that you're not ready, it's a sign that you're on the verge of something big. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Move anyway. Take action, even if you're afraid, especially if you're afraid, because every step you take in fear is a step closer to overcoming it. The greatest people in history were afraid, but they didn't wait for fear to disappear. They moved forward anyway, and because they did, they changed everything. Now it's your turn. Move. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for someone to give them a chance. But here's the cold hard truth. Waiting is the slowest way to failure. You think you're waiting for something better to come along, but what you're really doing is waiting for permission. Permission from others, permission from society, permission to live your dreams. Stop waiting. Waiting only guarantees that nothing will happen. The clock keeps ticking, and with every second, your potential slips further away. So let me ask you this: what are you waiting for? Because while you're waiting, others are building. While you're sitting back, waiting for the stars to align, there are people out there who are creating their own opportunities. They don't beg for permission, they build. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Action. Most people wait for the right moment to take action. They think they need everything to be perfect before they move. But guess what? There is no right moment. There is no perfect time. Waiting is a trap. You tell yourself, when I have more money, when I have more time, when the conditions are just right, then I'll go after my dreams. But here's the thing, those right moments never come. People waste years, decades even, waiting for the stars to align. And in that time, life passes them by, opportunity passes them by, and before they know it, they're still exactly where they started. If you keep waiting, you'll stay stuck. You don't need permission. You don't need someone else to tell you that it's your time. Your time is now, and the longer you wait, the further behind you fall. Look at the great builders of history. People like Henry Ford, who didn't wait for the perfect car engine. He created the Model T by pushing through obstacles, using what he had and building something out of nothing. Look at people like J.K. Rowling. She was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became the global phenomenon it is today. But she didn't stop. She didn't wait for someone to tell her, "You're ready." She kept building, kept writing, kept believing. Success isn't given, it's built, and you can build your success too. But you have to start now. You have everything you need to create the life you want. It might not be perfect right now, but it will never be perfect if you wait for it. You have to take action. So stop waiting, start building. Build something that matters, and watch everything else fall into place. No more excuses. You have everything you need to start. You don't need more money. You don't need more time. You don't need more advice. All you need is the willingness to act. Look at what you have right now. Your mind, your hands, your determination. That's more than enough. The only thing that stands between you and the life you want is the choice to move. So stop thinking, start doing. You've been waiting for too long. The longer you wait, the further you move from the person you were meant to become. There's no more time for hesitation. Start now or risk wasting your life waiting for something that will never come. The biggest obstacle to success isn't lack of opportunity, it's self-doubt. People spend too much time waiting for someone to validate them. They wait for others to tell them that they're on the right track, that they're doing the right thing. But here's the truth. The only person who can guide you is you. You have to trust yourself even when no one else does. You have to walk your path even when others question it. You can't wait for approval. You can't wait for permission. You have to believe in yourself first. So stop asking for validation. Trust your instincts. Trust your vision. Trust your path. Everyone doubts themselves. Everyone has those moments of uncertainty. But here's the difference between those who make it and those who don't. The ones who succeed keep going, even with doubt. Doubt doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It just means you're doing something that matters. Every great success story is filled with moments of doubt. Oprah Winfrey doubted herself when she was fired from her first job in television. Steve Jobs doubted himself when Apple was struggling. But they didn't stop. Doubt is normal, but stopping because of it is a choice. You will always have doubts, but don't let them stop you. Don't wait for the day when you feel 100% sure, because that day may never come. Take action despite the doubt, because the moment you move past your doubts is the moment you find your strength. If you're waiting for the world to believe in you before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. The world doesn't believe in you until you first believe in yourself. Take the story of Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. He was rejected by multiple investors before he found success. But through it all, he believed in himself. And because of that belief, he created Disney. The world will not hand you belief. You have to create it for yourself. Once you believe in yourself, others will start to believe in you too. But you have to start first. Believe in your own path and others will follow. You can't wait for someone to give you permission to follow your own path. You can't wait for the crowd to approve your direction. You are the only one who can walk your path. Everyone else is too busy walking their own path to help you walk yours. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will start taking ownership of your life. Stop waiting for someone else's approval. The only person whose opinion matters is yours. Trust yourself, trust your journey, and start walking it today. The life you want won't be handed to you on a silver platter. It won't be given to you by someone else. You must take it, and taking it requires you to stand up. Stand strong. Stand alone if you have to, but do not sit back and wait for the world to hand you your future. The world will only give you what you're willing to fight for. It will only give you what you're willing to work for. And if you're willing to step into the fire, to face the struggle, to walk alone when necessary, then nothing can stop you. Your success is yours for the taking, but you have to claim it. The path ahead is not easy. It's not meant to be. But you are not most people. You were born to rise above, to walk your own path, and to create the future you want. Stand strong, stand alone, and never let anyone tell you that you can't, because you have everything inside of you to make it. Now, the question is, are you ready to stand up and take what's yours? It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop doubting. It's time to start building. And it's time to start walking your own path, because no one is coming to give it to you. The life you want must be taken. Now go, take it,